Welcome everyone, this is Finally Needles and you're listening to LOTRO Players News, where we take a look at the latest news in LOTRO and here at LOTRO Players. And this week we have with us Harry Adwin.
Hi!
Harry Endis.
Hey everybody.
Sanswinda.
Hello.
And please welcome to our special guest tonight because we have a visiting druid. Oh, wait a moment. There are druids in Middle-earth?
Nope.
Please welcome Druid's Fire to the show tonight.
Good evening.
Good evening, Druid. And today we will begin with our little ritual to new guests here. And we'll begin by asking you how you got into Tolkien.
Oh, it's so funny. You should ask me that question, finally. I got into Tolkien when I was in single digits many, many moons ago, when I was fishing around for something new to read after I'd read The Last Unicorn by Peter S. Beagle. And I was told that I should check out Lord of the Rings because apparently he liked Lord of the Rings. And I asked the librarian, well, how do you know? And they took the book, Fellowship of the Ring, cracked it open and said, well, look, he wrote the foreword here. I'm like, well, if Peter S. Beagle likes Lord of the Rings, then I have to read it. And then I fell in love with it and fell in love with maps. And so I think my career as a writer and a historian kind of somewhat vaguely resembles Bilbo, though I actually might be as big around in the middle as Bilbo too. So I think we'll be okay
there. All right, very well. Then how did you get into LOTRO?
Well, it's a funny question about that too. I used to hate MMOs back in the day. I played Mushes, multi-user shared hallucinations. Basically, kind of like typing in chat, but everybody's typing what their character is doing. It's like LARP, but only on a computer. So, and MMOs were taking all of our players away. However, I also hang out with comedy musicians, such as, Weird Al Yankovic and folks like that, Dr. Demento and, lesser folks in the genre. And, well, I needed to write a song about another MMO, and I needed to do research. So I bought their box, was like, okay, I'm going to write the song, get the heck out. And then I heard that they were doing an expansion that I fell in love with. And then I heard there was a Lord of the Rings MMO out there. I'm like, well, heck, if I'm going to play MMOs, I'm going to play this Lord of the Rings one because I like it much better than this other one. Which I still play both of them quite equally. And, well, I just was like, wow, they did a good job with this game. I got to stay and keep playing because there's so much to do. There's so many rocks to cover. Look, there's a tapestry. What does that mean? Yes, I do indeed hang out with Professor Corey for a reason.
All right, very well. Then how did you get involved with the community?
There's a funny story about that, too. My dear half-sister, who I was not raised with, she and I like a lot of the same things. Same bands, same favorite actor and character from Star Wars, and a love of Lord of the Rings. She introduced me to her friend, Rick Heaton, a.k.a. Sapiens, previous community manager of Lord of the Rings Online. And I'd already been playing the game, and I had no idea that there was a community manager or there's this whole... I just played the game by myself and I didn't care. But there was swag at PAX East, and I needed to send a friend to go pick some up because, hey, this guy's going to hook me up because I'm my, sister's she's my halfling sister, by the way. So if you ever see Donna, you can call her a hobbit, and it's not a problem. Because we all do it ourselves. I learned the fine art of trolling my friends from Sapiens, and my first victim was my sister. So that's pretty much how I got into the LOTRO community as a bigger thing beyond myself and my gameplay.
All right. Anything else you want to add to your introduction to your time in LOTRO? I'll give you some time later to expound on other things if you wish.
Oh, you poor soul. Give me license to expound. Oh, doom. Doom is upon you. Well, I also wound up in Game Press for other reasons and have written stuff about LOTRO in the past. And all I will say is I kind of upset Maid of Lions a little bit when Mordor went live, because apparently back in January I had called how they were going to play out the end of the ring. And he was a little bit upset about it. But he said that it meant that he was doing it the natural way that it should be done. People were guessing the way they were going to do it. So that made me happy.
Okay. Anyway, then let us head off into the game news for tonight. And the only real news is the LOTRO beacon.
So but what news it is? I mean, it's got... I don't remember. It's got stuff.
Well, there's a new trait planner that has been created by the Bearded Minstrel. I don't know if any of you actually use a trait planner. I've never really used one.
No, because I usually just pick traits and shove them in there.
We do tend to be a bit of a casual lot here, yes.
I pick traits that will make Chromite Swiftpaw go completely apoplectic, and he won't know why. And he'll be like, damn, is that true? It's fine. She's just picking random things again, isn't she?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that I pick traits in the same way, Druids.
Yeah, I pick traits that look like they might be useful. Very well, now, here's the question. What pet is missing from the Lord of the Rings Online?
White Bunny.
I was going to say Moria, but apparently that's coming. Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you.
No, it's a long-standing joke. Anytime I talk to Finson, a player I always run into on Landreval at concerts, they have long wanted a white rabbit cosmetic pet, and I haven't heard it. I once brought this question up to Quartermaster U, and he's like, who is this person? Why do you want a white bunny? It's like, have you not watched Monty Python?
Okay. Yes, all right, a white rabbit. I've not thought of that, but that sounds like a reasonable one that would be missing. Any other pets that one thinks is missing? I think we've managed to stump everybody. Either that or everybody agrees with White Rabbit.
Do we have pet spiders?
Why would you want one of those?
I know exactly why.
Right there. For that reason right there.
I can see a pet Sulikill to go with my little pet Mumak.
No, if you get a pet spider, you go stream bomb Gussie Moose.
Yeah, just keep it away from me.
Oh boy, yeah, spiders. That would be. Well, okay, I guess I was about to say wolf, but I have a feeling that might be pushing things a little bit on the lore side.
I mean, I've been wanting the mole rats, but apparently those are coming with the next update.
Okay, we will want to have some more. And do we have an idea yet when the next update's going to be?
Middle of next week, according to Cordovan, last week on Court of the Rings. Or Thursday on Court of the Rings, whenever.
All right, middle of the week.
Approximately, of course.
Pending it all being ready. The usual things on there. And let's look at the screenshot of the week, which looks like it's in Wildermore, based on... That is Wildermore, isn't it?
Looks like Wildermore to me, yeah.
Yeah, okay. But Zenwing B takes a pretty birthday screenshot.
It's a beautiful shot. I feel like I say that every week, but
Yeah.
it really is.
Well, that's how they get chosen for screenshot of the week. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
The reason I say Wildemore is because of all those deciduous trees in the background that still have their leaves.
well, there is that because
As
usually
opposed to like the evergreens, because normally you got, if you're in winter, the deciduous trees have dropped their leaves, but for Wildemore, the winter is an unnatural one. So
all right.
And this has
Sometimes
been
the
Know Your Trees with Terry Hyder.
yeah, I think it's sometimes the LOTRO is trying to, okay, how do you tell if those are deciduous trees or not?
She's that good.
They're not the evergreen trees. I mean, they're the other trees.
All right, I guess
You've got your pine trees in the foreground, and then you've got the other trees in the background.
Oh, those
other
up there,
trees,
yeah.
The other trees are the type of trees that are supposed to drop their leaves. They're deciduous trees.
Yes, okay, you're okay. I sorry, I was looking at the pine trees in the foreground.
We're looking at the pine trees.
Yes.
Pine trees are evergreen.
Yes, I know they're evergreen. You got to remember is I've got a holly in my front yard, so therefore I'm used to a non-traditional evergreen there. So
Your name is Pine Leaf. Should I say more?
yes.
Pine leaf needles, no less.
Anyway, well, then anything else from the community weekend this week? If not, we will head into our store sales. And Terry, what's on sale this week? Anything nice?
A bunch of crafting garbage.
Oh.
Free sample is cool though. It's a skill and flair deed boost ×1 with the coupon code Orc Hunter, which I just laughed so hard when I saw that. And then 30% off crafting guild access, ingredient packs, crafting accelerators, rapid craft, crafting tiers, and recipe books. Blah.
You know, with as much as you don't like crafting, though, I'm kind of surprised you don't like rapid craft.
I'm not going to spend money on rapid craft.
Okay, fair enough.
I have other things to spend my LOTRO points on, thank you very much, like cosmetic stuff, wardrobe space, I need teamwork character slots, that kind of thing.
Good point. Excellent point.
Can't argue with that. LOTRO Players News is brought to us this week by Extra Life. And Terry, what can you tell us about Extra Life?
Not a whole lot, but Druid's Fire can tell you lots.
All right, Druid's Fire.
It's a charity thing, that's all I know.
Extra Life is a charity run by the Children's Miracle Network Hospitals. Lord of the Rings Online has actually had quite a relationship with the charity. One of the big benefits of donating to Extra Life is that 100% of your donation goes to the hospital of the player you designate as the recipient. So if anybody, for example, donated to me specifically, it would go to my local children's hospital. If you donate to the team, like the LOTRO one that is currently run by Cordovan, then that will go to the Boston Children's Hospital. In fact, Extra Life is the reason why Cordovan is our community manager, because they kind of stole Sapiens from us, and then we had Freelorn for a bit, and then Freelorn went to some place in the boonies, and now we've got Cordovan, and we're not giving him back. So what you do for Extra Life in general is you designate 24 hours or so, break it up however, where you are playing video games on Twitch, Mixer, Beam, whatever, your YouTube, whatever place. And as you're streaming and playing your game, people can send you donations and you keep you going. And then again, that donation will go to the hospital that you've designated. And generally about this time of the year, October, November-ish. And yeah, it's a really good cause. I do know that in general, people like, well, I only have $5. That's all I can afford for whatever reason. That's helpful. I mean, if you can think of what you can spend $5 for to help, in the baby aisle at your local supermarket, and just imagine like all these people, that's all they got. That's fine. That helps. Even more so helps is raising awareness. People like old raising awareness. What does that do? You tell people about it. If you can, promote it on your social media saying, hey, I can't really help with this because it's at a bad time for me. I got my own stuff. But hey, this person is doing this charity thing. Like right now, right this second, as we're recording, Gussie Moose is doing her Extra Life Marathon. She's not currently playing LOTRO. Shame on her. That's okay. We'll pick on her later. But she's raised, last I looked, over $1,000 just herself
awesome.
Today. And, the Moose Lodge community has been just amazing. So is this where I talk about what we're doing? The LOTRO stream team?
Okay, yeah, that's good.
Okay, we'll kick it in here. Next week from 9 p.m. Eastern Time or server time, and on Friday night, running until midnight Saturday night. So we're doing 27 hours because we're crazy people. The LOTRO stream team, a whole bunch of us are going to be streaming like 3 or 4 hours together. Cordovan's going to be flitting in and out amongst all of us. If he shows up on mine, I'm going to troll the heck out of him because that's what I do. And we're going to play LOTRO. We're going to, beg people for their money, their donations, their social media, signal boosting, anything to hit our goal. There are some really awesome goals, which I don't think have been formally announced, but hey, I'm going to go dig it up and tell you all about it. If I can find it, this might be it. Maybe. Oh, don't you dare. Oh, the silly thing. Hang on, I have to look it up in Team Slack, but we have goals for how much we raise. Oh, let's see here. If we hit $1,000, Cordovan's going to give away 10 500 LOTRO point codes and 10 Hero of the Small Folk titles, randomly distributed to people who donate at least $5 through a random, RNG drawing. If we hit $2,000, 10 more points codes and 10 more Hero of the Small Folk codes will be randomly distributed to folks who donate $5+ dollars. 3,000, 10 more points, 10 more points codes, and 10 Ghost Bear codes will be randomly distributed. And 4,000, same deal. 10 more points codes, 10 more Ghost Bears. And if we hit $5,000, the goal, they will be giving away 5 Mordor Collector's Editions codes. Those are the middle, the $80 thing. Winner shall be drawn from random number generator. And anyone who's donated at least $5 and PMs Cordovan with their details to link up their donation to their stuff will get a say in that. And I think there's also some cool stuff about maybe custom forum titles and everything. Cool. So keep an eye out for the official post on the forums when Cord actually posts it. And there's going to be some really cool things. So everybody who donates $5 or more gets a custom forum title, even if they already have one. There's forum avatars, in-game titles, certificates. There's even one if you donate more than $100, Cordovan will come hang out with you or your kin in-game. There are certain rules he's not going to break, like, doing stupid things like, things that would break the game, giving out loot, leveling people up, common sense stuff. But he would be able to give away a couple of things, and he could do Q&A. So things are cumulative. And yeah, it'll be kinds of fun. So please come hang out with us on the official LOTRO channel, LOTRO stream, twitch.tv/LOTRO stream. We are going to beg you for your money to help sick kids, because that's honestly what it's all about. The getting to play the game and getting to troll our community manager, that's fine. Yeah. It's actually all about raising money for kids so that their families don't have to pay for their care when they're at Children's Miracle Network hospitals. And yeah, so we've lost a community manager at Extra Life. We're not losing another, but LOTRO has been very generous. The community has been very generous to this fine effort, and I hope they will again this year.
All right. And what date did you say is the marathon this year?
It starts next Friday. What is next Friday?
The 13th. Friday the 13th.
Friday the 13th. I think officially we're kicking it off at 9 Eastern, but we might start a little bit early because, we've got stuff to do. And so Cordovan will kick it off and then we'll hand it off. And I'm cleaning up. I will be the closer on Saturday night. It's going to be crazy. And we're going to have a heck of a lot of fun. So come and hang out with us on the official LOTRO channel.
Now, when you say 9 o'clock, is that 9 a.m. or p.m.?
That is 9 p.m. It's a good question you
Okay.
asked. So yeah, we're kicking everybody off their streams for those 27 hours, and Nick Beacon Pants is doing a regular show because that's the slot she chose, but it's all good. So we're gonna have a lot of fun, play a lot of LOTRO, and if anybody rolls in the chat and is bad to us, I've got a band hammer and it needs to be leveled up so I can get some IXP for it.
All right, thank you, Druid. And then let's head off into our site news, and we'll begin with the scale of scaling.
And this is a Critics Corner article that talks
that's
about...
what C stands for. That's what
CC stands for Critics Corner.
Critics Corner, okay.
And it started out as just an overview of scaling and kind of went into in-depth of history of LOTRO and how things happened when it did, and not totally sure what it ended up. I actually read it twice.
Yeah.
Because I was trying to figure out where exactly it was going.
It's apparently, I get the impression, especially with the way he ended it, that he changed where he was going a couple of times.
Yeah, because I thought it was going to be about gear, and it ended up being about instances.
Yes. The idea there is he talks quite a bit, at least the centerpiece of the article is, of course, about scaling and the history of scaling in the game and the instances. Because we started out with no scaling, and then they slowly added more and more instances that, in one way or the other, scale. And in the end, he gives us a list of items in the things reachable in the instance finder that are scalar. Actually, epic battles technically aren't scaled. Instead, they scale you to them. So, okay, one way or the other. So it's scaling in the other direction, but I guess in a way it's scaling. But then, of course, you have 44 instances and 19 skirmishes. And 29 non-scaling instances, which are especially like Moria stuff, and some more recent stuff is also non-scaling. And of course some classics like
the old level 50 content, the Rift, the Rift raid and stuff like that.
Right. Because
Isengard instance cluster is another one.
Right. So yeah, there are a number of things that don't scale, but then of course there's plenty of content now that does scale, so that if you're 115 and you wanted to run the barrel downs, no problem. You could put it and make it a reasonable challenge. Especially with the way 115 mobs it these days. All right, any other things on this before we head on? Then let's head into LOTRO Mortar soundtrack. There's one on the way. I would presume that means a version that we can
buy, that we can play when we're not in the game, which is super awesome. Don't have a ton of details, but we know that the release date is projected to be November 1st, and I'm so hyped. So hyped.
Happy birthday, Chance Thomas! No, it is actually his birthday today.
Is it really? Happy birthday, Chance Thomas. We love you.
It is indeed.
I love the Mordor soundtrack. I really do.
And this is going to be available through what media?
Currently, we don't know.
They haven't decided yet. It's going to come out, but we're not too sure yet.
Yeah, they've approved a soundtrack release. The release date is scheduled for November 1st, and we don't actually have additional details yet.
An educated guess would be it will go very similar to how the 10th anniversary soundtrack went. So digital first, because guess what? There's no overhead to make CDs. I unfortunately know how much it costs to make CDs. So if there's a question of getting the soundtrack or getting physical media, I will take the soundtrack and hope for physical media.
All right. Seeing how that I currently listen to the stuff in my car through my phone through MP3s, etc. So therefore, yeah, going to Amazon, getting the MP3s there and downloading them to my device will work for me at least. Then let's head into the new player question. And Arindis, what's up for this week?
This week, sorry, the question's a little bit random.
Oh, you hit level 50, huh?
She's been level 50 for a while. She's in Moria. Where have you been?
Oh, okay.
Well, I've had this in my inventory for a while. Well, I've had this in my inventory for a while, and I'm not exactly sure what it is. It says it's an infused garnet. I know that it has something to do with LIs, but I looked around the LI panel, and I still can't figure out what this thing does. What does it do?
All right. Now, if you go to the Dolphin View,
okay,
in Moria,
in Moria, across from the Stable Masters, you'll find a pair of dwarves who have these quest rings on them, and I think there's this little symbol inside the quest ring. I can't remember exactly what is it, like an anvil or something like that?
Isn't it just the repeat symbol?
No.
Yes, they do their dailies.
I think they have a special quest ring for them instead of the standard quest ring.
They may have at one time, but they don't now.
Okay. These two dwarves, then, if you talk to them, they will have a daily quest for you, and these daily quests require an infused gem of some sort. There are 3 tiers of quests. The first tier of quests is the one that's labeled at level 54, and those are the ones that require infused garnets. There's also a level 57 quest that requires an infused sapphire, and then level 60 ones require an infused adamant. And each of them has a quest. At level 54, you have the mithril the mithril slaves and the training hall. And the idea is you do these quests, and if you do them, you turn your infused garnet into some special garnet beyond that, and that could give you, as a quest reward in the end, either a relic or a title for your legendary weapon.
Very cool.
It's a great way to get LI titles when you're at the lower level.
Yeah. And there is also a quest giver for these over at the elf place just before you enter Moria.
Ekadunan.
Yeah, Ekadunan. And inside of there's someone, but those are small fellowship.
Those are small
ones.
fellowship. Yeah. There's also a quest giver in Esteldin that takes the infused gems.
Okay.
There's one in Esteldin who takes it?
Yeah. I think those are full fellowship ones. It's been a while since I've talked to that guy.
I've never known that there were ones in Esteldin. That shows you how.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
I can pop in and check real quick and we'll come back.
All right. Okay, so therefore it's possible that there could be another set at Esteldin. But the main ones that I remember are the ones at Ekadunan, which are small fellowship ones, because I think the level 54 one is Flight of Drakes, and I remember the first time I did that when I got butchered. But I think the last time we did, I think we actually got through it. I think I did that with Sans.
Yeah, it didn't go too poorly.
It didn't go too poorly. I think we actually got through all of them on there. I think that was the first time I successfully did it. Yeah. So therefore, I must have had a better group with me that time. And
there's almost always something you want when you're doing group content is a halfway decent group.
True. So therefore, that was the important one on there, is that you've got the small fellowship ones at Ekadunan, and that in Dovin View, you've got 2 quest givers who each have ones that they each have the solo ones. And on the solo ones, one of the solo ones has a title for Western Ace damage. I think, though, that one might be I can't remember. One's at 50, and one's at 54, one's at 57. And another one of them has it for the ancient dwarf damage. And I believe the one of them at Ekadunan has one for a third type of damage, which fortunately I forgot what damage type it has, but it might even be Valerian damage or something like that. But anyway, so they each have their own types of damage that they can give for one of them. So that's something you could also keep an eye out on. So check them out, see which ones they have. Do they have titles that you are looking for? And of course, if you don't like the title and you're just doing it for XP or something like that, then you can, of course, just get the relics instead.
Gotcha.
Right, answer your question?
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Anyone else have anything they want to add to that? All right, Terry Adwin might later on have an answer on the matter of the Istil Den bit, but meanwhile, let us head into our week in Lotro. And Ariendas, what have you got to share with us tonight?
Oh, wow, I'm first. Okay. Just saw the list. Well, this week was super fun. I mean, Lotro is always fun, but, I went in game and I looked in World Chat at one point, and they were talking about a certain kind of pun night or something. I don't know if this is something that has become like a daily thing, because I saw something on Twitter about it, but basically you just spam World Chat with puns that are related to a topic, and this night was trees, and I'm a major pun lover. My family kind of hates me sometimes for all the puns. And it was a blast. We kind of got into it, and I'm going to apologize in advance for this, but it was just unbelievable how many puns came out of that. So it was really fun. I was running around the Red Horn Loads doing some quests, and I tried to take on some red level landscape mobs. There are a couple different camps with campfires that have red level, at least for me, mobs in them, and I was able to kill one. I actually ran out of power for the first time as a champion, and I don't know how long. When I was like, whoa, wait a second, where are my power pots? Do I even have any of these? And with the other that I tried to go up against, I ended up playing a lethal game of Ring Around the Rosie. It was basically whack it, run around the same rock 1,400 times, trying not to pull anything else nearby, and then try to get the health up, and then whack it again and keep going. Eventually, other things that I had killed previously had respawned, so I was not able to defeat that one, but that was okay. It was still kind of fun. And I discovered that there is a quest line in Moria where you become the goat waste janitor, for lack of a better term. And you get a fabulous little pocket item that everyone wants. So, yeah, that was... I'm sorry?
A pooper scooper?
No, it's just goat waste that you put in your pocket. And I was like, okay, this is a quest that's happening right now. So that was interesting. Then that was my week in Lotro. Sans, what did you do this week?
Well, this week, my little champion was questing in the North Downs and met Terry's High Elf Mini, and went questing with her a little bit on the epic storyline, and things died much faster. Besides which, it was just fun to have company. But yeah, it was kind of funny. And she was telling me that I was playing too much like a melee character and not waiting for things to come to me, because she would yell at them and they'd start running towards us. But by the time they'd get to us, they'd already be dead. And then I realized on Thursday night that that's the exact same advice I've been trying to give her with my hunter. And I totally see now why she just keeps running in anyway, because she might as well get a few hits in. So, yeah. You know. And I went into Lingris twice this week.
Twice.
Yay for Spider Night times 2. I'm not super happy to be there, but I'm glad it's all going to get over with in roughly the same time frame. And I made sure Sans had a new spider-proof outfit to help out, but then everybody kept losing her, so she might have to diet a little bit differently.
She blends in with the landscape.
Yeah.
Oh no.
But, and really, like, when I'm used to the spiders, they're not that bad, but I was so not ready to be going into Lingris on Thursday night, and it's caught on stream. So, there's that. And during the field trip, on 2 different alts, I did parts of Epic Volume 3 and parts of Epic Volume 1. And that was pretty fun. So, yeah, that was my week. Terry, what did you do this week?
Well, Langeville Terry finally reached. Yay, I'm at Cap again! And completed chapters 2 and 3 of her Gondor Allegiance, which is awesome. Love the fact that the dwarves are super critical of Minas Tirith's walls. That's fantastic. Also, the elves are super snooty because they're like, well, it used to look better, but that was a long time ago. And I may also have started some trouble about the still unattainable Swan Knight Steed on Twitter, which I didn't realize I had started trouble until Drax sent me an email saying, by the way, did you catch Court of the Rings this week? Because he talked about you. And I said, no, but he helpfully sent me the link to where Cordovan was talking about it. So, okay, here's the thing about the Swan Knight Steed. Again, I get that sometimes we see mounts in game that they're not necessarily ready to give players because, it's either like standing still or it's got a certain design that's just not going to work with a player horse. But these horses are being ridden on by the Swan Knights, and you could totally give it as a rep mount. I mean, making it Warseed compatible would probably be a little tricky, but there's no reason whatsoever why we can't have it as a mount, except for the fact that they just refuse to give it to us. So, and I streamed that too on Thursday. That was the preface before we went into Spider Night, was I caught that on stream. Horses are moving.
Did they say that you can't have it at any point? Or is this just the first time it's been brought up that we want it and we want it precious?
Oh, I've brought it up numerous times that we want it, and they've said a couple of times they might poke at it and nothing happens. So I keep trying to point it out, saying I still really want. People would pay money for this horse.
I would.
I would seriously shell out some actual real life money for this horse.
It's a gorgeous horse.
It's the one that matches the Nodin heavy armor that you get questing through Gondor.
Yeah. I have the outfit to match already.
I'll know a quartermaster you and see if we can push them a bit.
Yeah, because, I get that sometimes a stationary horse is a little bit difficult to translate into moving horse players, but this horse is already in the game moving. So, anyway, moving on. Down with Airs, who is my High Elf mini, overpowered mini for the win, totally showed up the champion, which I'm both proud of and a little saddened about, because I have baby champions too, and they feel very upset that they're so underpowered at low levels. But she's completed through Volume 1, Book 3, and is now too low level to begin Book 4. Because the level jump between the end of Book 3 and the beginning of Book 4 is like 3 levels. So she's got to go up at least 2 more levels. So, more skirmishing, probably. And I talked earlier about how much I don't do crafting. I do crafting. Gray is the Shadow Upon My Heart, who is my High Elf Hunter on Arkenstone, because I don't do serious names with high elves, because Down with Bear, Shouty Elf, Grey as the Shadow Upon My Heart, and Well-Dressed Killing Machine are my high elves. And Grey as the Shadow worked on crafting while hanging out in chat with the LOTRO Academy yesterday, and basically spent the time complaining about how much I hate crafting. So it was nice to have company and voice while I was putting myself through that. So, Druidspire, what are you up to in LOTRO these days?
Well, if you're talking about what my hobbit is up to, about 4 feet tall.
Do you have a lot of hobbits?
I have 2 hobbits. One on Crick Hollow that was my original hobbit burglar, because of course hobbits have to have a burglar. I also have the cutest hobbit guardian on Olive Landreval. She has been seen on the official LOTRO stream one time when I was actually not working on a Thursday, and went and quested with Cordovan and learned that he pretty much stinks as a healer. Because he didn't keep healing. And I was like, dude, get out of the way. I'm Guardian. I'm supposed to tank. I'm supposed to yell at them. Yeah, trying to tell that boy how to play this game is a little bit of an adventure. But it was fun, actually. We wound up... Okay. To tell a little bit of a story, as you know, Cordovan is fairly new to our community. We've had a game for 10 years. He's mostly been the DDO community manager for years and years.
Sure.
So that's his game.
Yeah,
so he doesn't know all the cool stuff that we know. I once had to tell him that they're not called banks, they're vault keepers, and there's one over here at the crafting area in Mickle Delving. But we went and did a quest in the North Downs. It's one of the epic ones that requires inspiration. Well, let's just say he didn't know what that mechanic was. It was fun. But no, I do have a Hobbit guard. I love playing the character. She's also my metalsmith and tailor, but I'm probably going to split one of those crafts off since we're speaking about crafting, because eventually what I want to do on Landy is to get all of the crafting guild stuff going, but you can only be in one craft guild per character. Standing Stone Games, I hate that. But so I'm probably going to split some stuff. I got enough also I can do that. It's just a pain in the tuchus. So I did that. I am also looking forward to the Fall Festival next week. It's starting a week earlier than they normally do it, I believe, because I'm used to it starting the day after my birthday, which is the following week, and you should all send me presents on the 18th, I'm just saying.
No,
or donate to my extra life. Donate to my extra life.
No. Hobbit, you're supposed to send us presents. You can buy me a pony.
I'm not a Hobbit. No. So I did once yell in the official chat when Cordovan was talking about, what can I get you guys? What do you guys want? I'm like, I want a pony. Because that's like yelling, hey, what song do you want me to play? The obvious answer, Freebird. Duh. So that's always fun. But normally I don't play elves, or I don't normally play hobbits too often. I am an elf nerd. Elrond is my home slice from many, many moons ago. I was in single digits. So yeah, Elrond is my boy. So
you and Maven.
Yep, I do like me some elves. Actually, that's why when I run with Corey, I run with an elf minstrel, Kiriana, the stealth minstrel, who is apparently not very good at stealthing, but that's more Corey's fault than mine. But yeah, next week, the Fall Festival starts, which for me means I get to park the vast majority of my tunes in the Haunted Burrow, and maybe, just maybe, they might loot the Aged Deed, which will get you the painted skeleton steed or pony. And it's so rare. I think I got 2 of them last year, and I had probably upwards of 25 or so characters parked there. So yeah, that was fun. And even though, Haunted Burrow is like, well, that's not really in lore. Who cares? Pumpkins aren't canonical either. And you see them all over the place. Pumpkins are not native to the UK. So,
then again, neither are taters.
Well, they're not native to, but pumpkins aren't actually, they're more of a North American thing. So when I believe the devs are talking about, well, should we put pumpkins in the game? they're not part of the lore. They're like, the hell with it. It's pumpkins.
Yes.
Care. And sure, the Haunted Burrow is really almost lore breaking, but it's fun. It's not for very long, except I think Cord did say something about they're considering doing an encore, probably, I don't know, some later time this year. So that's always fun, and more chances to get the painted steed, which is really cool. But speaking of my elven minstrel, yesterday, Friday, since Professor Corey was out of town, doing a mini moot in Iowa of all places. I don't know. I guess he wanted to visit the future home of James T. Kirk. I don't know. But I ran for 5 hours. My minstrel in Mordor with St. Joan was hanging out and just making sure, just keeping it on me, making sure I didn't keel over too many times. But I did die a lot because minstrels are awfully squishy in Mordor.
Yes. Minstrels are really squishy.
Mm-hmm.
Anything past about 85.
Yeah, but it's still nice to call upon the white fire from the heavens on top of things, and that was fun. So,
but they're probably having the same problem as all the other light classes in Mordor without any finesse on the gear, aren't they?
Yeah, well, I think I'm doing better on my minstrel than I did on my champion, who's actually my main, because my main has terrible gear. So I have to run my main some more, but I'm having way too much fun on Landreval. So that's honestly, the most of the stuff that I've been doing in game involves farming, because when I get home from work, I moderate Twitch for various people, and when I'm moderating their chats, I can't really focus on questing and stuff. So I save my my actual questing time to when I'm streaming on my channel or on the official. So that's what I've been up to. Pineleaf, what do you got for us, Sunshine?
Well, I will begin with my burglar, which reached level 115 after having a little talk with some Ents.
Oh, is that Pine Sap?
Yeah, Pine Sap.
Yay,
Cool.
Pine Sap.
Yeah. So, yeah, right, I was doing Allegiance Quest, and it involved talking to an Ent somewhere, and right after I finished doing that, got all that done, I was such a slipper close, then I did a task, and the task pushed me over. So, level cap on my burglar.
Yay! Now we're all at cap.
You
Now
did
we're
it
all
as
at
a
camp.
task. Big Ed Mustafa would be very proud of you, Pineleaf. For those who don't follow the official LOTRO stream, Big Ed Mustafa is one of our streamers, and he has 5 tenements of good LOTRO streaming. 1 is you have to eat on camera. 2 is you have to do tasks. 3 is inventory management. 4 is crafting, and 5 is fishing. If you do any combination thereof, you have achieved enlightenment and become a good professional LOTRO streamer.
I'm going to call foul because I've seen Big Ed's inventory, and that is not in any way, shape, or form.
Now, Stine is our professional inventory management hoarder of doom.
Yes. That's OCD hoarding and management to a degree that I can't even go there.
Oh, that bad.
Well, it's when she gets into inventory management, it's the kind of task that's going to take a while.
I once did inventory management on my entire account. It took me 2 entire days.
Yeah, I don't have the patience to do it.
2
I start
days.
throwing things out.
Yeah, that's my usual style of inventory management. Well, actually, it's soon going to change, though. It's going to become, let's filter this out, let's filter this out.
Yes. No more of those third age LIs.
For all the other classes, especially.
Yeah. Then,
Filter.
Right. Now, my burglar also, on top of hitting 115, also managed to get a pick-a-mount box from an Honorian chest. And I have not actually picked the mount yet because I figure I'm going to wait until the patch drops so that I can have a look at all of the mounts on the collections panel so that
That's a good idea, actually.
Right. So I can see what each of them looks like. So that's the plan on that one. Then on Gladden, I resumed my long dormant Lore Master series. I finished up that series 3 years ago, just finishing the North Downs, and I decided to pick it back up again. I picked it up at the second of the points in the Troll Shawls. This is really straight. I don't know when I did the first hub in the Troll Shawls because I didn't do it on the series because I finished off the series just before the update to the Troll Shawls went live. So therefore, I must have done something in there right after it because I was thinking I was going to resume the series, but I didn't do too much other than that, and I did resume the series this week, so I'll be continuing with that. I will have a second season that will last at least until I reach the gates of Mordor. Moria, I mean. Moria. Mordor probably season 4 or 5, yes. And then on my Crick Hollow Warden, I cured a sick ranger, and I ran into a most unexpected group of people in Mordor because, alright, when I heard that there was a strange group of people up ahead, you're starting to think of, okay, who could this be? Who could this be? Who could this be? And who I saw was the last group of people I would possibly have ever thought of running into in Mordor.
Oh.
And we'll probably have to, and I think it's a little bit spoilery if I said who it is, because
Yes, no spoilers. I'm trying to avoid
yes,
spoilers.
because I'm sure it's something that Terry hasn't seen yet, so therefore I'm not going to mention that, and probably not.
I probably haven't either because it doesn't sound familiar. But now I'm curious.
Right, but this is something that you'll run into near level cap. So
See, we've got to get out of Lingris soon, guys.
yes, it'll be after Lingris and the other zone that you do around the same time as Lingris. Then the zone after that, in its latter part, is I believe what sent you to this group of people. And therefore, that takes care of what I did this week. So therefore, Druids, is there anything else you want to share concerning your work on the LOTRO stream or other matters with the community?
Oh, well, I mean, our big thing right now is Extra Life. So, as I mentioned earlier, you can actually go to our Extra Life page, which is extra-life.org/team/LOTRO stream. And you can pick any one of us to donate to, and it goes to a worthy cause, which is healing sick kids.
That's always a worthy cause.
Go ahead.
We currently have 23 supporters on Patreon. If you'd like to join this illustrious array of players and help support LOTRO players, simply go to the donations page where you can support the Players Alliance on Patreon. There you'll find rewards, including a mention on the podcast of your choice, or even be a guest with us for an episode of LOTRO Players News. And we have a featured comment this week from Marmy and Ariendis. Would you like to read it?
Sure, I will. Marmy writes, about new player question. You mean you have pieces you can't sell to a vendor because they don't have coin value? In this case, it usually means they were good at some point in game and not likely to be vendored. They even removed coin value from some gear long ago to prevent accidentally selling and selling intentionally on hacked or stolen accounts. Gear sets often don't have vendor value due to above reasons as far as I know. Of course, if you have higher level gear with better stats, you can drop/destroy these without value. If you mean pieces you can't sell to other players or post on the auction house, that usually means they are bound to character or account. Read the description for each item. You can, however, sell them to a vendor.
Great. Thank you for that. And if you would like to send us an email, you can send it to podcast@LOTROplayers.com. You can also follow us on Twitter, the Players Alliance @PlayersAlly, LOTRO Players @LOTROPlayers, Ariendes @Ariendes, Maven @Tolkien Maven, Pineleaf @Pineleaf Mules, Senswinda @Senswinda, and Terry Adwin @Terry Adwin. You can also follow our guest, Druid's Fire @Druid's Fire. The Players Alliance has 2 live shows every Monday at 8:30 p.m. U.S. Eastern Time. We have DDO Players News, and every Saturday at 8:30 p.m. U.S. Eastern Time, we have LOTRO Players News. You can join us for our live shows at LOTROplayers.com/live. And that is all for tonight, and this is Pineleaf Mules reminding you to skirmish responsibly.